Welcome to the Divorce Angel podcast, and thank you for joining us. Get ready to uncover the strategies everyone can implement for a successful separation and divorce. This will save you valuable time, money and emotions while learning the secrets to your happily ever after. And now your host, my wife, Tanya Somerton.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Divorce Angel podcast. I'm Tanya Somerton. Wow, I'm over here in Australia, as a lot of you know, and I'm down the bottom part of Australia in Victoria. And seriously, it's spring, and we should be getting beautiful weather. Instead, I'm sitting here with a big jumper on, and it's pouring rain outside, thunderstorms. It's just nasty. But you know what? I've got to be grateful that it's raining in a country where we are struggling with drought, and there's farmers that, don't even have 2 cents to rub together and so hard at what they do. So I could be carrying on about it, but to be honest, I'm grateful that we live in such an amazing world and country. So today I wanted to firstly celebrate, yay, today is my 40th episode of this podcast. When I started this podcast, I actually did not know how long it would go for, if at all anyone would even listen to it. And I'm lucky enough now that I get emails, I get questions, I can see by the data where people are listening from, and we've got listeners from all over the world. So I just cannot tell you how grateful I am to know that I am hopefully adding some sort of value to your life, and hopefully making whatever it is that you are journeying through right now a little bit easier. Even if you just know that you are not alone, and someone else and other people are going through exactly what you are going through, because you're not alone. And I got this beautiful email from this amazing lady yesterday, and that's a shout out to Shelley, who's over in Arizona in the US and is really, really battling. And I just wanted to say to her that she's not alone, that we are all here with her and do whatever we can to help and support in any way possible. Today, I wanted to talk about stories. So, stories are what you tell yourself. And quite often when I'm talking to a client, case in point was yesterday. I had a lady ring me as a referral from a financial advisor, and I was having a chat to this lady, and she spoke so quickly. Even when I tried to talk to her, there was no break. She wasn't even taking a breath. She was so overwhelmed and just going through a list of all these things that were going on in her life that she never ever stopped to think. She is in she's in victim mode, 100% victim mode, but not just that, the amount of stories she was telling herself about what was going to happen. Now, the issue with stories are they cause us to feel these emotions, and like I say all the time, from the emotions we then act on them. And it's dangerous because the stories may not be true. They are stories that you could be telling yourself. And I know this better than anyone. I've been telling myself a lot of stories for a lot of my life. And when I addressed why I was telling myself particular stories, all it did was it made my life better, because at the end of it, what do I care about what someone thinks about me? Or what do I care if I am going to upset someone? Or what do I care if people think I'm no good at what I do? I don't care. Because at the end of the day, and this is big for me to say, I now know for certain that I am making a difference in people's lives. If we're always worried about what people think about us, we're never going to do anything. We're always going to stay in that big marriage because we don't want to upset our family, or what will our friends say, or what will our in-laws say, or how will the children react. All of these questions that we ask ourselves, we come up with these stories of answers which we do not know to be true. We just surmise that they're going to be true. So some of the stories that you may have told yourself could be, I can't do this. Like, I can't do this alone. I'm calling BS. You can. The children will suffer. Now, I hear this all the time, and there's actual evidence and studies to say that children in unhappy marriages actually grow up to be unhappy people and to be, well, they've learnt from what's happened, what they've witnessed, and they take that into their own relationships. And we don't want to just continually have this perpetual circle of divorces within our families. Like, if we can stop it, that's what we want to do. So we want to make sure that our children learn to be happy, independent, resilient adults. And they can do that by being in two happy single families better than what they can do is if they're in one very, very unhappy, toxic family. You could also be telling yourself life will be hard. Well, I'm sorry, but life can be as easy or hard as what you make it. And that might be a story you're telling yourself as well. Just imagine if you said to yourself, life is easy, and you truly believed that life was easy. What harm is it going to do? There's no harm in thinking that something will be better than what it actually is. You're hurting no one. You're believing something. And wouldn't it be amazing if that actually was what life was like? Life is easy. And it can be easy. It really can. You just have to believe it. But if you're continually telling yourself, this is hard, life is hard, that is what your reality will be. Other people will have stories around money. And look, we've all got stories around money. I've certainly had my fair share of those. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money doesn't come easily. We have to work hard for money. He's going to give me no money. Like, there's so many stories that just go on, and we don't know that they are actually true. And just because we've learnt something does not mean it's factual. And right now is the time that you could change all of your stories. You could be just turning your life upside down. This is certainly how I looked at divorce. I looked at it that, okay, I'm finishing one chapter, but the next chapter will only be better. The next chapter will be what I want it to be. It will be on my terms. And the stories that I told myself when I was going through my unhappy relationship was, my parents got divorced, so I don't want to go through what my mum and dad went through. I don't want to do that. That was unhappy for them. I mean, that was just a story I was telling myself because, that was their choices and they made their bed and they laid in it, and the results of their decisions don't need to be the results of my decisions. I don't need to follow suit. And that was just a story I was telling myself. I was witnessing my dad being unhappy, so therefore I thought that could be what would happen to me, but it didn't need to be that. And I also continually told myself, I'm not smart enough. How many of you are telling yourselves that? I'm not smart enough. My goodness. And now I look back and see what I've been able to achieve. And you know what? I am smart enough. I can do whatever I want to do. But I have to tell myself that. I have to believe that I can do whatever I want to do. And you can do that as well. You've got to trust in yourself, and you've got to trust to know that you have the ability to have a better life. So whatever stories you are telling yourself, you need to stop it because they're not true and they are just stories. And, as humans, we look for all this supportive evidence to confirm our beliefs so that we think that, well, if I'm going to leave, I'm not going to be able to survive. Who's going to pay the bills? I'm not going to have the same life I have right now. We're all going to suffer. Who knows? Whatever it is that you're telling yourself, there's no evidence to say that is true. And even, to be honest, if there is evidence, you can turn it around. You can change your destiny if that's what you want to do. I mean, I am just case in point in that. You don't need to be unhappy. You can find a purpose and go out and make everything that you want from your life. You might have a hobby right now, and that hobby might be something that you could turn into an income. So you might be telling yourself a story about how I can't survive, I don't have enough money. But in this day and age where we live right now, you have the ability at your fingertips, on your iPad, on your laptop, to start a business that you can make money from. You just have to sit there and think about what it is that you want to do with your life. But don't allow your negative stories to take control of your destiny. It's not okay. You need to stop it. If that's you right now, and I know for a fact, if you're listening, it is you, because every single client I talk to, every email I read, there's threads of these reasons why you can't do something. There's reasons why it won't work out, but they are just stories. You can do and be whoever you want to be. You can do this. And I'll be honest, let me put it to you right now. You will do this. You will do this. So when things get hard, have a mantra. Tell yourself over and over again, this is easy. I can do this. I will be happy. Think of whatever it is that will make you be grateful for the simple things in life. Every night when you go to bed, you need to think about 3 amazing things that happen. If things are really dark right now for you, there has to be at least 3 little things that you can be grateful for. I've discussed this before. Like for me, when someone mows the grass, the smell of freshly mowed grass is just one of the most happiest moments for me. There's other things like we can't survive without water and air and lungs in our body. And there's so many things, even if stuff is so bad right now, that you should be grateful for. Without your heart pumping, you would not be able to walk around and look after your children or go to work. And your body allows you to have the power to step into a new future. You can just get up and change your life if you really want to. So stop telling yourself that everything is too hard, because it's not. It's a lie. It's a lie you're telling yourself. Life can be as easy or hard as you want it to be. And if you listen to last week's podcast, I spoke about my client that made it harder than it needed to be because emotionally she just wasn't dealing with stuff. But it was all these stories that were going around in her head about what he was possibly going to do or how he was going to react. And none of it was true. And simple communication and hindsight has made her understand that it was just the chatter in her mind. It was just the stories she was telling herself. And if there's one thing I can do, I can share other people's learnings so that you don't make the same mistakes. I don't want to see anyone going through something that is preventable. And mostly what I see is the stories that we tell ourselves are simply not true. They're just something that keeps us comfortable. We think that they are keeping us safe, but all they are really doing is keeping us where we are right now in this very minute. So have a look around. Have a look at your life. Where you are right now. Is that where you want to be? Or if you're able to change a few stories about your future, or even the stories about your past which are not helping you at all, and it means that you have a different life moving forward, isn't that worthwhile? Well, for me, it is essential because the stories are not helping us in any way, shape or form. So thanks for listening this week, and I'm not sure what we're going to have a chat about next week, but I might go off and have a champagne to celebrate my 40th episode. Woohoo! Thanks for listening, and I'll catch up with you next week. Bye.